Hi, welcome to Vicky Makes and Builds. I've got a bright and cheery one for you today. I am going to be building this gorgeous gradient puzzle by Clementoni. It's one of their Colorboom collection of puzzles and it is 2,000 pieces and it's just called Gradient. I had a look at the measurements and thankfully this puzzle fits on my white table, which up to now has been buried under my big MDF board. It's nice puzzling on my actual table again, and I really think these colours are going to pop on this white background. In just a second, I will open up the box and we will have a look at the pieces. But before we get to that, here's a word from today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Serious Readers, the lighting company. Finally, the summer is arriving here in the UK and I have really been enjoying my gradient puzzles this month. The bright colours in them are perfect for summer puzzling, and especially from the light that comes in from my lounge window. Recently I started this gorgeous gradient puzzle by Clementoni, also one of their Colorboom series, and I'm just loving it. But living in a small flat, my windows are quite small. The rain has tipped down on my puzzling parade several times, as it does up here in Scotland, and when dusk finally kicked in, I just didn't want to stop puzzling. This is why I love my Serious HD light. If I can't take my table to the sun, I'll take the sun to the table. The light helps me to keep puzzling for as long as I want without having to shift my furniture towards the ever-waning light from the window and slowly adjusting tired eyes to the onset of night time. It's so handy and quick to just go and grab it, adjust it to suit, and carry on enjoying my puzzle. Serious HD lights use daylight wavelength technology, which replicates the daylight spectrum. So it's no joke when I say that I'm bringing the sun to me. This makes it excellent for seeing all the detail in the subtle gradients I've been working on and make the colours appear even more vibrant and beautiful. For me, it works great alongside the natural light too, balancing out the darker parts of my room, meaning I can see the whole puzzle equally well with no shadows. The base is heavy enough to withstand the inevitable knocks it gets from my kids and cat, and the lack of a power cord is just so handy. If you like the sound of this as well, I have an offer for you today. You can get £100 off a Serious HD light plus free UK shipping by clicking on the link in the description below and entering the discount code Vicky24. And now back to the video. The first thing I notice when I open the bag is how bright and vibrant these pieces are. I can see straight away that the image quality is going to be amazing. Clementoni has never disappointed me on that score. I've done several Clementonis, but I have noticed that not all their puzzles have the same finish to the pieces. My smaller Colorbooms have a more woven finish. These are smooth and shiny, not as much to my taste as the woven pieces, but still good quality and nice thickness. There are a good variety of shapes too. I noticed a fair amount of puzzle dust, which I hastily turned into a rainbow, and some pieces were stuck together where they hadn't quite cut through. Not too many, but I do like to separate them where I find them together, and I occasionally couldn't without potentially damaging them. That being said, overall, I'm happy and I can't wait to put this together. So let's start with the sorting. Enjoy! Right, so this puzzle is trickier than it looks. And on 2 occasions I have resorted to shape sorting. So once was for the yellow pieces and once for the purple pieces. Now, it's not only the fact that the same shades of colour are in more than one place. So with the yellow, you've got it there and there. With the purple, you've got it there and there. It's also the fact that the blocks of colour are so big. So it's not so bad picking out the ones that are kind of blending from one colour to another on that side and on that side. But this big chunk in the middle, where it's kind of more or less the same colour, and then you've got the same again going on up here, it makes it a little bit more tricky. So it's been a fun challenge, this puzzle, but definitely more challenging than I was expecting. I have a worry though now, and that is that this piece is missing. And I only have boxes of greenish yellow pieces left. And I figure if a purpley pink piece was among them, it would stand out and I would have found it by now. And I have hunted around the floor in my puzzle room and I've not been able to find it there either. So I'm starting to worry that it is lost. I will hold out hope that maybe I will stumble across it, but I really hope it isn't lost. I'll be quite gutted if it is. I think it's a beautiful puzzle. But I suppose looking on the bright side, this would be a good opportunity, if it is lost, or missing, to utilise the Clementoni missing piece service and see how their service is, if it's any good, if they're quick responding. That's something I can kind of test and get back to you all on. But we'll keep going with the puzzle. As I said, I've got lots of greenish yellow pieces. That's not all of them, that's just some of them. But what I am going to do is dive into these pieces first, because a lot of those pieces, especially up at the top there, you can see there's some very, very bright greens, almost yellow. And I know that they are going to go around the bottom of this bit because it gets quite yellow and sort of light green down here. And then the rest filling in this kind of gap, it's like a river, that's all darker green pieces, of which we've got some over there, and I have a box down next to me with a whole bunch more in. So it's time to start tackling those greens, but I'm going to... I've got more space on the table now, so I can spread them out. I can definitely see the brighter shades there, so I can hopefully get this bit filled out pretty quickly. And if needs be, I can always shape sort. I've got a wee board that I've been using, and I can shape sort and I can get this puzzle filled in. I do still have a few transition pieces, so ones that would go along here that are quite dark, and also sort of here and up on that left side. So there's a few of those I can keep delving into. In fact, that pile's going down quite nicely now. So yeah, it's finally come time for me to tackle all these greens. I was dreading it, but I will have to do it eventually. Just such a shame about that piece. Gutted. So I have this, what should we call it, scar of whiteness in my puzzle that should be filled with green. And I had a feeling that this is how it would end up. This is quite a big chunk of green. And really, I have done everything I can on these outside parts of this big kind of stripe. It's obviously darker this side and it's a wee bit darker this side, but kind of a different shade darker. And I was able to pick out the pieces from the box fairly easily without any shape sorting. But I'm to the point now where the colours are just very similar and I can't really just pick them out of the box. Now, at this point, I can still make out gradients in the pieces. So but it's much easier to see them when they're laid out like this, and especially on the white background. Now I kind of ran out of room for these, so I've put these against the purple so I can still see those fairly well. But I wanted them within reach of me, so I kind of did that rather than putting them over that side. So I was thinking I would just see what I could spot, you know, perhaps pick out pieces that were a little darker and try and fill out this edge a little more. And then it's really going to be chipping away at it by shape to fill this in. So I'm hoping it won't take too long, but this is probably going to be the bit that's like slows me down the most. But I really think this puzzle's so beautiful. I mean, it's a joy to look at. It's just so bright and lovely. And, you know, the slight shine on the pieces that I was disappointed with at the start, it just kind of makes it pop even more. So much as I prefer a matte finish to a puzzle, I think that actually suits this puzzle. And it's really lovely. So I'm going to fill this in. I do have a missing piece. I can tell you that now. It wasn't hidden amongst the greens. These are all I've got left. They're all laid out to see, and there is no purple among them. So that is extremely disappointing. I'm quite gutted about that, but I do have a cunning plan, which I will divulge to you at the end. So anyway, for now, let's get the puzzle finished and we'll fill in this green bit. Right, so I've done it and I loved that puzzle. It's just so mesmerising to look at. The way the gradient has been done and the fact that it's 2,000 pieces made it more challenging than I expected, but that's no bad thing. It definitely got my strategic brain working and I really enjoyed that element of it. I love how much these Colorboom puzzles just pop out at you. The colours have an almost neon quality, they're just so vibrant. Okay, so let's now address the elephant in the room, and that is the missing piece. I'm not going to lie, I'm quite upset that I don't have it. I thought maybe I'd lost it or dropped it. I've looked everywhere, and it's one of the reasons why this video was delayed coming out, because I really wanted to see if I could find it first. But unfortunately, I didn't. Now, you may remember that I said earlier in the video that I have a cunning plan for the missing piece. Well, my cunning plan turned out to be not quite so cunning. What I ended up doing was buying a second copy of the puzzle. Now, I do know that sounds a bit daft given that Clementoni do have a missing piece service, but I wanted to use the missing piece service just to see how it was, like if it was any good, if they responded quickly and things like that. But I just didn't want to wait. I really wanted to finish the puzzle and I really wanted to have a complete puzzle at the end of this video, but it wasn't to be because the puzzle that I bought turned out to be a different cut to the one that I had already built. I don't know if it was a slightly newer cut or an older one. I think it might have been newer. because the leaflet in the box was different as well. But I was quite gutted. I was like, no, I got some of the pieces out and I was like, I don't think this is the same cut. So I was unable to use that puzzle to fill in the missing piece. So I set about filling out the missing piece slip in the box of the original puzzle that I bought and built. There was a slip and it has instructions on what to do if you've got a missing piece. There's a little bit at the bottom that you fill out and you have to stick the barcode from the side of the puzzle into the little box and then fill out your name and address, your email, and I think your phone number as well. Now, the missing piece service exists in the countries listed on the slip, which were, I can't remember what they all were, but the UK was one of them. So they had a UK address for Clementoni that I then sent it to. Now, the slip in the box from the newer puzzle was slightly different, and that seemed to suggest you could do it online, but it relied on having access to a slightly different code printed on the box, which wasn't printed on the old puzzle box. So I basically ended up having to kind of hack a rectangular hole into the side of my old puzzle box in order to get the barcode off and stick it on. Anyway, I mean, the puzzle is missing a piece anyway, and I do have a replacement box if needs be, so it was fine. But I emailed them anyway, even though you're supposed to send this off in an envelope and mail it to them, I still emailed them and just asked if there was a quicker way of doing it or if that's how I had to do it. And they actually got back to me pretty quickly and they said that you can do it online if you have this certain code, which I didn't have, so I sent it to them. Once I had posted it off, it took, oh, I don't know, a week or so before I actually got a couple of emails about it. And they were to basically tell me that they don't replace individual pieces, they can't do that, so what they will do is send a whole new puzzle, but it takes 6 to 8 weeks. So, and what's slightly bothering me is that I don't know if the barcode differentiates the puzzle's cut, or if they're just gonna send me another puzzle of the same cut as the one I already purchased to replace the old one. So I'm a little bit on tenterhooks with this. I don't know if I'm going to get the right cut or if I'm going to get the newer cut, or I've no idea. No idea. But if it is the newer cut and I can't pick the piece out of it, I'm just gonna end up having to build the whole thing again, which, much as I loved it, I don't really want to build it again. I would just like to just put the piece in the one I've already got. But we'll see. I'm gonna have to keep you updated on that. 6 to 8 weeks was too long to delay the video, unfortunately. So I will keep you posted as soon as the puzzle comes. If it's the right cut, I will put the piece in and I will complete that puzzle. And now I have a spare copy of it, which I don't know, I'll probably sell it maybe, because I've opened it now, so I can't send it back. But that's okay, you know, I just cut my losses on that one. Anyway, aside from that disappointing situation, I enjoyed this puzzle a lot. I will for sure be doing more Colorboom puzzles as I just love their gradients. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Let me know about your experience with Clementoni Colorboom puzzles, or even if you've got an experience with missing Clementoni pieces, let me know about that too. I love to hear your thoughts on all the puzzles that I build in my videos and all of your puzzles. I've left links in the description to this puzzle. If you don't mind shopping at Amazon, it's another way to support the channel, as any qualifying sales made from those links earn me a wee commission, which just goes straight back into making the channel even better. There's also a link in the description to join as a member of Vicky Makes and Builds if you're interested in seeing even more extra content from me. There's plenty of content in there already, as well as access to members only live chats, progress updates, and new puzzle sneak peeks. Thanks to all of you who are members already. I really appreciate all of your extra support, and I will leave it there. Thanks for watching, happy puzzling, and I'll see you next time. Bye!